See, dear student, we are discussing here next topic, which is the most important for determine the electric field, known as Gauss law. Gauss law relates the source of the field, an electric field, through flux linked with the closed surface. We can state Gauss law as flux linked with any closed surface. Flux linked or associated with any closed surface is the ratio of total charge enclosed by the closed loop to epsilon 0, means permittivity of the space, means phi equal to q by epsilon 0. Here q is the charge enclosed by the surface and epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the space. Here simply it is clear that q is total charge, means if single charge or more, then we have to take the algebraic sum of the charges. Now we are explaining in this way. Suppose we have taken a point charge q at the center of the sphere of radius r, means we have taken spherical closed surface. Again divide by spherical surface in so many small elements. Out of them, one is shown in the figure as delta S at any point, suppose P. Then delta S is the surface element. Then vector delta S can be represented normal to the surface. And as you know, field due to point charge, if positive, then radially outwards, means here E and delta S both are in the same direction or parallel to each other. So E parallel to delta S. Now we can write flux associated with the small area element delta phi vector E dot delta S. But field due to point charge at a distance r is given by q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r square r cap, and delta S is the surface vector. But as we have discussed, E and delta S parallel to each other, means radially outward, then q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r square r caret dot delta S r caret. R caret dot r caret means 1. R caret is the unit vector in the radial direction. So finally q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r square delta S. This is the flux linked with the small area element delta S. To find the total flux linked with the spherical surface, we have to add up. So total flux phi is summation of delta phi for all area elements. Here all stands for the summation of all area elements of the spherical surface. So we can write Q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r square sigma for all element of delta S. But sigma of delta S for all elements is nothing but the area of the spherical surface. So delta S is 4 pi r square. So we can write Q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r square into 4 pi r square. So 4 pi r square cut. So answer is Q by epsilon 0 as we have started. Thus again Gauss law is total flux linked with any closed surface is equal to charge enclosed by the surface divided by permittivity of the space. Here we are discussing some points about Gauss law. Gauss law is correct or true for any closed surface, no matter of shape and size. Means it can be applied to any shape, any size. Second, in the equation, Q is the total charge enclosed inside the surface. There are maybe so many charges, then we have to take algebraic sum. Then we are getting total charge Q. Sometimes we can use sigma Q instead of Q. So it is also correct. Here, third point, E is for any surface A, or sometimes for any surface, suppose charges may be inside, may be outside. In the case where charges are also inside the surface, outside the surface, then in term Q by epsilon 0, we have to consider only the charges which are inside the surface, not outside. But field is produced at a given point is due to both the charges, also inside, also outside. And last, to apply the Gauss law, there must be symmetry, and it is useful to find the field in the case of symmetry. So it is very useful to find the field in some cases. Now we are discussing one application, or first application, second question. Field due to infinitely long straight uniformly charged wire. Using Gauss law, we have to determine field produced due to infinitely long straight wire. Now see, as shown in the figure, we have taken a long wire infinite long wire, for convenience we have taken uniformly positively charged. Uniformly positive charge. So charge in any given element remains same for the same length. Suppose total charge may be anywhere, but charge density on the line or wire is lambda. Lambda is the linear charge density on any long wire. Due to this, as shown in the figure, field is produced around the long wire. Suppose we have to find the field at point P at a distance r, from the long wire. Now consider a circle of radius r normal to the wire, and point P is lying on that circle. We have to determine field at point P. As you know, for infinite long wire, point P, P dash and P double dash and so many others have axis symmetry. Equidistance and on the same circle, so they have symmetry, axis symmetry. Now, due to equidistance from the wire, they have same magnitude of electric field. They have same magnitude of electric field. Then direction of the field is radially outward if the charge is positive, means lambda is greater than 0. Then field at any point will be radially outwards. If charge is negative, means lambda less than 0, then field is radially inwards. Again, magnitude remains same. Direction radially outward if lambda greater than 0 means positive charge, and radially inwards if negatively charged or lambda less than 0. Now see here, we have to find the field at point P at a distance r from the center. Now consider two small elements P1, P2 as shown in the figure. Consider two line elements P1, P2 as shown in the figure. Now, when we find the field due to both, as you know, in the direction joining the point and charge. So for this one, along this direction. For P2, it will be along this direction. Means middle part may be radially outward. But here, only consider for P1 and P2. Then we have two fields, just like E1 and E2. To add this vector, we are resolving that field into components. One in the radial direction, other normal to the axis or line joining the both center and that point. Then it is clear, normal coupled to the axis, nullify each other. Normal component will nullify each other. So only radial component exists, and we have to add radial component. So we can say field only depends upon r, not any other factors. Here it is only for infinite long wire. Now to apply Gauss law, as shown in the second figure, consider a cylinder of length L and radius R. Then all the points, as we have discussed, lying on the surface are equidistant. Curved surface having same distance. So we can say field lines will be coming out normally to the curved surface, but no any flux exists parallel to the surface on both ends. So flux on both the surface or end surfaces is zero. Total flux linked with only this surface means only curved surface. Then flux linked with this curved surface, phi is E dot delta S. Here delta S, for this suppose delta S and E both are in the same direction, so simply can be treated as E delta S. Here delta S for the given Gaussian surface is 2 pi r L. This surface, curved surface, having area 2 pi r L, so we can write flux is E into 2 pi r L. Now, according to Gauss law, charge enclosed in this portion, charge enclosed in the loop Q is lambda into L, lambda into L. So comparing both equation, as you know Gauss law, phi equal to Q by epsilon 0. So lambda L by epsilon 0 and lambda L by epsilon 0 equal to E into 2 pi r L. L cut. So E equal to lambda upon 2 pi r epsilon 0. Lambda upon 2 pi r epsilon 0, or we can say from this r is the distance, but here distance increases, then field is going on decreasing. So E proportional to 1 upon r for given lambda in vector form, E equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon 0 r into r cap or n cap. Here you can write anyone, suppose r cap, then r cap is the unit vector in the direction of radius. So this is the required result for electric field due to infinitely long straight wire. Also can be written in this way: lambda, then 2 lambda upon 4 pi epsilon 0 1 upon r in magnitude vector this. Then this is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 can be written as 2 k lambda upon r cap, where k is the Coulomb constant. So we have discussed two topics. First, Gauss law, and first application of the Gauss law, electric field due to infinitely long state uniformly charged wires.